Hello, boxing fight fans all around the world. Thank you once again for joining us on the Neil the Deal Show with Neil the Deal himself on Talkin Fight. And tonight we're talking Billy Joe Saunders. He's going up against one of the best in the world right now. Well, actually, they're both best in the world right now. So we'll see who is the best in their weight class coming up very soon in May. Is that right?
That is correct, Graham. How are you tonight, man? Yeah, everything's
great.
going well. Spring has arrived early, so I'm happy about that. And as you can see, I have my trusty Blue Jay hat on today because we beat the Yankees. We beat the Yankees today, guys. I'm good. I'm happy about that. You know what I'm saying? So good for them. So yeah, we're going to talk about the big fight coming up May 8th of this year, 2021, at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. That would be the man we're talking about tonight, Billy Joe Saunders, British boxer, against Canelo Alvarez, who we all know Mr. Alvarez and what he's all about. So this is going to be a fantastic fight. Pay-per-view. I suggest you guys watch it. It's going to be a barn burner. This one is going to go. I think it's going to be one of those fights of the year, possibly. You know, Billy Joe Saunders is a fantastic fighter. We're going to talk a little bit about him tonight, so you guys can get a grip on what he's been doing in the last bunch of years and how he got to the point to now fighting Canelo. I mean, everybody seems to want to fight Canelo because that's where all the money is, right, Graham?
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, you know, so exactly. So we'll talk about Billy Joe. He's a British boxer. We've been talking about the British boxers, guys, and thanks again for all the likes, the shares, the comments, and all the great stuff. It's been fantastic, and I'm having a great time talking about these British boxers. So here we go. Billy Joe Saunders. That is his full name, Billy Joe Saunders. His nickname is Superb. So they call him Superb.
Really?
Yeah. So that's Superb Saunders, I guess, is what it is. He was born August 30th, 1989, which makes him 31 years old. So he's not really a youngster, but he's pretty much in his prime right now, Graham. That's why I believe he's got this shot to fight Canelo. And man, we're going to go over his amateurs and his pro totals and stuff, and you guys will see why he's getting that shot, where there's a bunch of guys in line that want that shot, but he seems to be the guy that got the shot. So his pro career started in 2009. He's presently an active fighter, as we all know. He fights in the middleweight and super middleweight divisions, and he's been known to have a really good jab. If you watch any of his fights, on his notable fights, I'll give you guys some fights to check out later. He's got a really great jab. He really does. He's got some power. He's not an overpowering boxer, but he's got great overall ring skill, if you know what I mean. Like, he's really a and he's got awesome hand speed. So that's going to give him a little bit of something with this fight coming up. That hand speed is something that you either have or I don't. You can improve it, but if you start with hand speed, you can only get faster. You know what I mean? And he's been known to have really fast hands, and some of these fights, his knockouts were really fast hands. So take a look at him in the ring, and I really, really like him. I think he's got a good shot. So his amateur, there's not a lot on his amateur career. Apparently, he was 49-0 in his amateur career. So that's pretty impressive. Now, he won a lot of titles, Graham, growing up as a young kid. And we'll go over some of the titles he won as an amateur. So in 2007, he won the Commonwealth Championships belt in the middleweight division. In 2008, he won what's called the I've never heard of this, Graham. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I looked into it today. It's interesting. It's called the Stranza Cup. The Stranza Cup. You know about the Stranza Cup?
In Bulgaria.
That is correct. So I'm sure that Christian has talked a little bit about the Stranza Cup, because apparently it's an international amateur tournament which is held annually in Bulgaria, and it determines who will qualify for the Olympics.
Correct.
It's an Olympic qualifier, and it's the oldest one. So and it's the oldest international boxing competition in Europe. So it's been around quite a long time. So in 2008, he was able to qualify, and he did qualify for the 2008 Beijing Summer Olympics, and he was 18 years old when he went to the Olympics. So he won a couple of matches, and then he unfortunately lost to eventually one of the big medal winners. So good for him. I mean, any Olympic experience Billy Joe is amazing. That's awesome. Fighting for your country is like, as we all know, something else that it's always a highlight of people's careers. And I would think so, because the Olympics to me is really, really something else. So I never missed the Olympics, hey, Graham. I don't know. Lost a lot of jobs and got in a lot of trouble at school for hanging out watching the Olympics, if you know what I mean. So anyways, let's just go over his pro totals now. He's had a total pro fights, 30 pro fights, of which he has wins, 30 wins. He's undefeated, 30-0. That in itself, I was like, wow, he hasn't even lost. So now that's why he's going to be fighting Canelo. He's 30-0. He's got 14 knockouts of those 30 wins. That gives him a knockout percentage of 47%. And hey, what can you say? When you're 30-0, there's not much you can say. He's undefeated. He's undefeated. So when you're undefeated, you should be getting a chance to go to for the world title. Come on. So now he's getting the chance. I'm really, really happy for him. We're going to go over a bunch of his pro stuff. Like you said, I didn't realize he was actually, like so involved in, he's won titles and all kinds of European titles and British titles and stuff. So he's a really well-known boxer, and I can't wait to see him fight Canelo. So we'll go over this. 2011, he won the Southern Area Middleweight title. So there we go, Graham, 3 days in a row. Dubois, then Yard, and now Billy Joe Saunders all won that Southern Area title. So that's interesting. They must be the water in the Southern area or something, because all the title holders are coming from there, which is impressive. And apparently, he's friends with all these guys, and he's also training a little bit in the same gyms that with Tyson Fury and guys like that. So he's right at the top of his game now. 2012, he won the Commonwealth title, middleweight title. So that's another great one to have, the Commonwealth title. 2013, he won the WBO International Middleweight title. 2014, he won the European Middleweight title. 2015, he won the WBO Middleweight title. That was his, I believe, would be his first world title in 2015. Then in 2019, he won the WBO super-middleweight title, becoming a two-time weight division world champion. And again, he's scheduled to fight Mr. Canelo on the 8th. So he's had a really, really good career up until now. All of his fights that I've watched, guys, you should check out some of these fights before the Canelo fight, so you guys know exactly, what Billy Joe's all about. And he's a fantastic fighter, all-around great fighter. Like I say, he's really bit off a big chunk of meat this time to try to, with Canelo. That's, so all the best to him. I think it's going to be a great fight. I know online a lot of people are thinking Canelo's just going to, make mincemeat out of him, but I don't think so. I think that he can stick in there, and you never know, man. It's boxing, right? One punch and things happen. We all know that. So I think he's got a good shot. So the notable fights, guys, we'll just go over those quick. The ones that I've checked out that I really liked. He fought Saunders versus Chris Eubank Jr. I guess if you know anything, his father was a big-time world champion fighter, Chris Eubanks, out of Britain, and he was a really good fighter. So he fought his son. He also fought an American, a guy named Andy Lee. So Billy Joe Saunders versus Andy Lee was a great fight. He also fought a Canadian guy that I really like in the middleweight division, and his name is David Lemieux out of Montreal, Quebec. And I was going to talk a little about David Lemieux moving forward, because I really like David Lemieux. He's Canadian like me, and I love the Canadian fighters. You know what I mean? So he fought Billy Joe Saunders, and it was a heck of a fight. So you might want to check that out. He also fought a guy named Seferat Isufi for another title, and that was a really good fight. And going forward, guys, as we all know, May 8th, 2021, Texas Stadium, AT&T Stadium, on DAZN. It'll be 9 o'clock on DAZN. It'll be Canelo versus Billy Joe Saunders for the unified super middleweight title and middleweight titles of the world. So that's going to be a real – that could be fight of the year. That I'm telling you, it's got a real good shot. So best of luck to you, Billy Joe, so far. Thanks a lot, man. Your career's been fantastic. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you do well on the 8th. We'll all be watching. Guys, thanks for coming and checking out the show tonight. All you Talkin' Fight fans, for sure, come and see the other hosts and some of the other shows if you get a chance. They're all fantastic. So it's really nice to have you out there. And again, I said spring is here. So let's get her going and have some fun. Spring and summer has finally arrived, eh, Graham?
Absolutely. We're having fun.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a great year fight-wise. I mean, there's lots of really, really good matches, and it's going to be a lot of fun this year. It really is.
Yeah,
I'm especially looking forward to this fight.
Yeah, this will be a real good one, man. Like, really good. I'm telling you. They're not giving him he's probably going to be a 10-1 underdog or something, but I don't know. I might just throw some money on Billy Joe Saunders. If it's 20-1, even better, you know. But yeah, hey, it's boxing, man. Anything can happen. But I mean, Canelo is pretty much at the top of the heap, and he's probably the best. Well, he's ranked #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So we're gonna see. Again, he got off pretty light the last fight we watched against Yitrim. He didn't really have to do much against that guy, but I think Billy Joe Saunders is a different. He's British, man. Those guys don't give up easy. They don't give up easy, man. Their culture just creates them to, you know. He's gonna give it his 100%, no doubt about it. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, and we'll be talking again a little bit more about some of these British fighters that are like these British fighters. Hey, Grammar, they're serious. All of us, like, really around the world in all divisions, they got a lot of really good fighters out of Britain right now. So, you know, the heavyweight division is stacked, light heavyweight, middleweight. It's like, wow. So, hey, let's check them out. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. So have yourselves a safe evening. Really appreciate you coming out. Check out the Neil the Deal show, and we'll see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Have yourselves a good, safe evening. Take care.
Thanks very much. We'll see you tomorrow.